Hi, this is Angie, Chocolate Sunday Part 10. I'm just concluding subjects that I started or final bits of my book that I need to finish transcribing and then move on to editing. I wanted to just complete something I started about my youngest son, Jamie. I was just a couple of weeks off my 40th birthday when I had him. And he's 5'10" now. He's 15, and he's adorable. I wrote 70 pages in my book about my daughter Gabriella, who's 26, and I think my boys saw me writing it and said, "Are you going to write something about us?" And treating my children equally is hugely important to me because it's something my parents didn't master, and it's been a source of a lot of pain and angst amongst myself and my four siblings. Sorry about this itchy nose thing. Yeah, Jamie, the one thing he doesn't want to be defined by is he's got a disability. He's visually impaired. It's called bilateral optic atrophy, optic nerve atrophy. I've also got it. I suspect my sister does, my uncle did. It's a hereditary thing. And when they confirmed it in Jamie, they gathered all the medical students around and had them look at my eyes as well to prove, that it was hereditary. But mine is not as severe as Jamie's. If you imagine a board of a triangle, that you read an eyesight test to do your driving. I think you have to be able to read a minimum of 5 lines in order to be able to drive. And Jamie can only read the first line, just literally. And, when he reads a book, he reads it like that. And even when he eats his food, he's very close to it. He uses a laptop at school and a magnifying projector. He uses a lot of visual aids at school. He was fine with it in national school, but not so much now that he's a teenager, and I'm hoping that will pass and he'll get over that shy, almost denial thing that he's in. He sat in a separate room to do his exams for his junior cert. He was allowed extra time, but he didn't use it. He was allowed to use his laptop, but I think he used it for some of the subjects. But for the most part, he tries to live as if he's not got a visual impairment. He's embarrassed about his disability sticker in the car. He didn't want me to tell his soccer coaches because we'd never told his coaches in the town team that he was visually impaired, but we did tell his national school, his junior school, and Jamie felt that he was left on the bench a lot in his junior school team because of a perception that he wouldn't be very good. But in actual fact, in his local team, he just won top scorer. And that's a team that won the league a couple of years ago. So I was thrilled for him. I was absolutely thrilled. And when I'm reminded of the severity of his visual impairment, we go for a checkup about once a year. I said to Jamie, "How do you play soccer? Football, soccer we call it in Ireland?" And he says, "I can see the outline of the goal." And I said, "And how do you know to pass to your teammates?" He said, "I just go by the colour of the shirts." He can't see who he's passing to, but it's true with a disability, people develop their other senses more acutely. So where he mightn't be able to see as well, but he'll hear and he'll sense. And, he's very determined to succeed. He gets discouraged sometimes. He's very, very brainy. He's very bright, very funny. but he gets discouraged sometimes. And a couple of years ago, maybe just a year ago, I asked him why he really wasn't trying at school, not really putting much effort. He said he was putting about 40% effort in, which was probably fair. And he said, because there's no point. Why should I work hard at school? Because I won't be able to do anything when I finish. And I just thought it was so sad. He said, I couldn't be a soccer player because his childhood dream, like so many kids, was to be a famous soccer player. And he said, the minute they got my medical reports, they wouldn't sign me. No club would sign me. And then as well, he's interested in acting. And he's on the books of an agency in Dublin. And he's done a TV commercial, a couple of little things here and there. He was an extra in a drama series. But he says, even with acting jobs, I won't be able to see the auto cue. I won't be able to read the... It's I guess people with a disability just have to try harder. And it makes me sad. I've been through a lot of emotions about it, but I couldn't help it. I don't think it was anything to do with having him at, nearly 40, or I don't think it was hereditary. I can't, so we do pray for his healing. He did experience some healing. He certainly was completely healed of childhood onset epilepsy. And that was documented with EEGs in Temple Street Hospital, and then it cleared up. It was during the Lakeland revival. And also Peter Gammons prayed for him. We didn't go anywhere. We just prayed, when it was on the television, or asked people to pray for Jamie. And the epilepsy thing completely cleared up to the extent that the consultant in Temple Street was saying, he's rechecking the EEG, like maybe there was a mistake in this. He couldn't figure it out. And I said to him, we prayed, and he's been healed. He said, well, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. I don't see any reason to put him on medication, because there's no sign of it now. And that's what we hope for. I'm actually going to try and take Jamie to America next year, or just somewhere where there's a healing revival going on. Nathan Morris is very anointed at the moment. There's been amazing healings there. Peter Gammons, a ministry I'm involved in, he has amazing healings. Some people just have a gift of miracles. I do believe that. And so I think that'll be one of our goals for next year. Jamie had a partial healing in his vision. I think his close vision improved. And the thing about the diagnosis Jamie has, which is the same as mine, is there's two kinds of this optic atrophy. One degenerates, it gets worse, and the other stays the same. And Jamie's is stationary. It doesn't get better or worse. And it has. There's been an improvement in his close reading ability. So that's probably his biggest dream, is to be healed. And he's very much in that teenage stage of wanting to be like everybody else, and not wanting to be different, and certainly not wanting to be disabled. He calls it retard. And he's certainly not a retard. He's absolutely bright as a button. He's very funny, and he's a good buddy.